Hello, I'm Mr. McGill, and I'm looking forward to the coming semester. I'd like to welcome you to ESL 80, Listening and Speaking. The most important thing to remember as you do the assignments for this class is that learning comes by doing. I'm sure that you already know that, but I just wanted to remind you so that by the time you finish this class, you will have learned a lot. There may be times when you feel that you're not learning. There could be times when you feel that you're not progressing or getting better as a listener or a speaker. But don't stop. Don't let that discourage you. The way we learn a second language is by repeating, practicing, speaking, listening, and most importantly, by being consistent and not stopping. Always do the work and do it on time and do it consistently. Try not to let a lot of time pass between assignments because that's when your learning slows. Consistently do the work and don't let a lot of time pass by between assignments. This class consists of two parts. Number one, student responses, and number two, retelling a story. That's it. There are no quizzes and there are no tests. Let's talk about student responses. Student responses include the requirement of you, the student, to respond to me as I ask you questions, quotes, and other things. Let's take a look at a couple of examples of student responses. The first one is here, and notice that all of the assignments are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc., and there will be more. This is student responses, and this is retelling a story. The retelling a story assignments are also numbered 1, 2, 3, etc. There will be more as the semester progresses as we go on. But let's take a look at the first of the student response assignments. This is what the assignment will look like. I'll have short directions. For example, in this activity, you will be asked to choose one of the quotations listed. You will then record yourself talking about the meaning of the quotation. I prefer a recorded response, but if for some reason you cannot record yourself, just type your answer and submit that. Let's take a look at this assignment. Hello. For this first activity, I will read 8 quotations. Then you will choose one of the quotations. You will tell me what the quotation means to you. Make sure you pick a quotation that you understand so that you can respond effectively. Okay, let's read the quotations. Number 1, courtesy costs nothing. Number 2, pleasant words are as a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and health to the bones. Number 3, You catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. Number 4. I hear and I forget. I see and I remember. I do and I understand. Number 5. We learn by doing. Number 6. The secret of education is respecting the pupil. Number 7. It is not best that we should all think alike. It is a difference of opinion which makes horse races. And number 8. I am tomorrow or some future day what I established today. I am today what I established yesterday or some previous day. Those are the 8 quotations. Be sure to rewind this and listen to the quotations once again. Then choose your favorite quotation and record yourself discussing that quotation. Tell me what you think it means. Good luck, and I look forward to hearing from you. Okay, so if you have the textbooks, it will help because then you can read along in the textbook. But all of my assignments that I record on YouTube will be accompanied or will have with them a picture of the pages that I'm reading. So you don't have to have the textbook to do the activity. Okay? So that's an example of a student response assignment. Now, if I click on Home, the home page takes me to a list of the assignments for the semester. I just showed you activity number 1 or assignment number 1, page 2, activity 3. Now there may be different numbers here in the title, but pay attention only to this number. This is assignment number 1, assignment number 2, etc. Let's take a look now at retelling a story, which is the second type of assignment. Retelling a story. Let's go to our first one. It's called Give Me the Money. So on the directions it says, give me the money. Follow the directions in the YouTube video. After you have retold the story in your own words, you may either record yourself telling the story or you may simply send me the message, I completed this assignment. Let's take a look at an example of this type of assignment called Retelling a Story. The first time I read the story, please listen. The second time I read the story, you repeat each sentence or phrase when I pause. The third time I read the story, I will point to the pictures as I'm reading. And the fourth time, I will point to the pictures only, and you try to tell the story yourself. Here we go. This story is called Give Me the Money. Early one morning, a man walks into a store. It is a small store. It has only one cash register and one cashier. The man has a $20 bill in his hand. He puts the money on the counter. Do you have change for a 20? The man asks the cashier. I don't think so, the cashier says, but I'll look. The cashier opens the cash register. The man shows the cashier a gun. Then he shows the cashier a bag. Give me all the money, the man says. Put it in the bag. But, the cashier says. Give me all the money, the man says. Put it in the bag. But, the cashier says. Give me all the money, the man shouts. Put it in the bag. The cashier puts all the money in the bag. The man takes the bag and runs out of the store. Later, the man opens the bag. What is in it? All the money from the cash register. $15. What is on the counter at the small store? The man's $20 bill. And now I'll read and you repeat. One morning, a man walks into a store. And now you will repeat. Early one morning. It is a small store. It is a small store. It has only one cash register and one cashier. It only has one cash register. The man has a $20 bill in his hand. Now, when I'm reading this and then you are repeating for practice, it's a good idea to hit the pause button so that I'm not talking over you. Let me show you an example. He puts the money on the counter. He puts the money on the counter. Do you have change for a 20? Do you have asks the Do you have change for a 20? The man asks the cashier. Cashier. I don't think so, the cashier says. I don't think so, the cashier says. But I'll look. But I'll look. The cashier opens the cash register. The cashier opens the cash register. Now, as you're listening to me read and then you pause the story at each line, be sure to listen carefully and try to sound the way I sound. That helps with your pronunciation. It helps with accent as well. Let's continue. The man shows the cashier a gun. The man shows the cashier a gun. Okay, I won't continue pausing. I'll go ahead and finish the story so you know what to do next. Then he shows the cashier a bag. Give me all the money, the man says. Put it in the bag. But, the cashier says. Give me all the money, the man says. Put it in the bag. But, the cashier says. Give me all the money, the man shouts. Put it in the bag. The cashier puts all the money in the bag. The man takes the bag and runs out of the store. Later, the man opens the bag. What is in it? All the money from the cash register, $15. What is on the counter at the small store? The man's $20 bill. And now I will point to each picture as I read. Early one morning, a man walks into a store. It is a small store. It has only one cash register and one cashier. The man has a $20 bill in his hand. He puts the money on the counter. Do you have change for a 20? The man asks the cashier. I don't think so, the cashier says, but I'll look. The cashier opens the cash register. The man shows the cashier a gun. Then he shows the cashier a bag. Give me all the money, the man says. Put it in the bag. But, the cashier says. Give me all the money, the man says. Put it in the bag. But, the cashier says. Give me all the money, the man shouts. Put it in the bag. The cashier puts all the money in the bag. The man takes the bag and runs out of the store. Later, the man opens the bag. What is in it? All the money from the cash register, $15. What is on the counter at the small store? A man's $20 bill. And now, as I point to each picture, you try to remember the story. You don't have to know it word for word or perfectly. Just see if you can talk your way through the story. Let's begin. So, I will point to each of the pictures which represents part of the story. As I move the pencil to each picture, you tell the story in your own words. This means that you are going to have to try to remember the story. If you're having trouble remembering the story, or if you're having trouble knowing how to say the sentence, stop the video, go back and listen to the story again. This is lots of work, but it is the best way to learn to speak a second language fluently. So work hard and you will gain the benefits. Let me play this just a little longer so you know what to expect. But again, as I'm pointing to the pictures, you're telling me the story in your own way, in your own words. That means you're not reading it, you're trying to remember what the story was and then retell the story. You're going to record yourself doing this and then submit it as your assignment, and I will listen to it and give you credit. If you have trouble recording it, just copy and paste the message, I completed this assignment. Send that to me and I will give you credit for that. Okay, so let's look again for just a minute or two more at the retelling of the story. Notice that I'm pointing to each picture and you're trying to remember what the story says and you tell me in your own words. If I'm moving too fast, simply pause the video. Once you've told me that picture and what it means, play the video again and just keep telling the story. How did you do? Keep practicing. Go back and listen to the story again. Repeat every sentence and then try to repeat the story as best you can. Good luck. Okay. Now let's go back to our home page and review. Remember, this class consists of two types of assignments. The first one is called student response, and the second is called retelling a story. Every week I will send you a message telling you what you should do for that week. Don't worry, I will always send a message every week telling you how many assignments you should do, which assignments you should do, so that you don't fall behind. Again, there are no quizzes or tests in this class. It's only important that you do the work on a regular basis, don't fall behind, and you will learn as long as you follow those rules. And then finally, last, I will be available for office hours each Monday at 7 p.m. for any students who might have questions about assignments or anything else. You are not required to meet during this time. It will be a Zoom meeting that I will send through a message to you in Canvas, reminding you of the upcoming meeting on Monday at 7 p.m. Every Monday at 7 p.m., unless there's a holiday, which there is this coming Monday. Again, you are not required to come to this meeting. You only should come to the meeting if you have any questions about anything. But if you're okay, and if you have no questions about assignments or anything else, you don't have to come. Also, if you have questions that you think could be answered through email, you could simply send me an email and I will quickly respond to your questions. I hope that you're excited to do lots of learning, to do lots of speaking and listening, to become a better speaker and listener. Take care, and if you're interested in our first office hours meeting, it will take place on Monday, September 13th. Not this coming Monday. This coming Monday is a holiday, but the following Monday, September 13th at 7 p.m. I'll be sending a Zoom link on messages found in Canvas. So look for that if you're interested. Okay? Take care.